Welcome to Clan Brandalorian. If this is your first time on the channel, please subscribe. We do deep dives within lore, theory, Funko, and Lego, all within the Star Wars universe. So if you don't want to miss any future content, go ahead and subscribe now. I would like to dive into something today. And if you aren't new to this channel, you do know that I am a huge fan of Quinlan Vos and would love to see him come to Star Wars, whether it's in live action or animated once again. Of course, if you keep up with the Bad Batch, we do know that Asajj Ventress will be in Bad Batch Season 3 in the final season. How did she survive? I thought she died. Count Dooku killed her with Force Lightning. Quinlan Vos took her back to Dathomir to lay her to rest. What's going on? So we do know that Quinlan Vos did take Asajj Ventress' body back to Dathomir to lay to rest with her sisters. With the time that Quinlan was on Dathomir, he was hearing voices from the Night Sisters speaking to him. So he could hear them calling to him. And we do know that Quinlan Vos did turn to the dark side. With me just being in love with the character simply, I do think that this is the right time. Asajj Ventress being in the Bad Batch only opens the door for Quinlan Vos to arrive as well. In the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, I feel like there was zero reason for them to just name drop Quinlan Vos without him actually coming in a future project. And I feel like that time is now. There's just almost no point in name dropping a character without bringing them back.
Quinlan was here.
Yeah, he helps now and again.
And with Asajj's death, Quinlan was right there. So with Asajj being back, I feel like Quinlan is going to be playing a major part in the Bad Batch to come. Quinlan Vos has a force power called retrocognition, just like Cal Kestis and a little bit of Ahsoka that we see in the Ahsoka series. This allows you to hold an object or touch something and be able to see its past. So what I think would be really neat is if Quinlan Vos and Asajj Ventress meet up with Hunter and Wrecker. Maybe they lose Omega again. Maybe Hemlock is able to capture Omega finally and is turned back into the Empire. I feel like if she was to leave something behind, like maybe a data pad or just an object that she's had on her, maybe her bow, her helmet, any of those things, maybe Quinlan can touch it and be like, I know where she is. This could just be a lead to where Omega is. I feel like Quinlan can play a huge part, especially just like with the example I gave. I feel like he can play just a big part in helping hide Omega. We do know that she is force sensitive and that she's a clone. So she is one of the first force sensitive clones that we have actually ever seen in Star Wars. But this only arises another theory that I have. When you think of Omega, she is a clone, she's force sensitive. I feel like Sifo-Dyas has to play a huge part in this. Count Dooku, Palpatine playing behind scenes were arising a clone trooper army. That way it could be easily suggested that Palpatine could use them to defeat the Jedi, Order 66. Sifo-Dyas was the Jedi that was allowing this to happen. Sifo-Dyas did die, right around the time of the Clone Wars, but I feel like maybe a little bit of him was used to make a certain clone army. Maybe Palpatine had a reason to maybe create a force sensitive clone army that could easily turn on the Jedi and defeat them with ease. But maybe all of those subjects just didn't work out. Maybe the Kaminoans saw that Jango Fett wanted an unaltered clone of himself, Boba Fett being his son. Maybe with the success of Boba Fett, they went ahead and made a female version, giving that Omega, Alpha and Omega, Boba Fett being Alpha, putting Jango Fett and Sifo-Dyas together, creating Omega, a force sensitive clone. I feel like this is just a crazy theory of mine, but I just feel like it makes sense. I mean, a Jedi has to be in play for Omega to be force sensitive. I feel like Jango Fett wasn't force sensitive, so an unaltered clone of him, female version, why would she just magically be force sensitive? I mean, we do find out, like in Star Wars Ahsoka, we see that Sabine, was force sensitive. She's one that allowed herself to train within the force, and it ultimately helped her become a force user. And these are just some of my top 2 theories that I wanted to throw out there. I feel like Quinlan Vos could play a huge role and could lead him into other future projects himself, showing the path. Maybe they get Omega, maybe she's one of the first, force sensitive kids to be going down the path. I think this would be great. Also, I feel like Sifo-Dyas' story may not be over yet. I feel like there has to be some significance with him in the clone army and just on Kamino, period. I feel like he died for a reason, but I wanted to share that with you guys. So if you can, go ahead and subscribe, like the video. It helped me out a lot. Thank you guys for watching Clan Brandalorian. I'm out.